So why did Jesus say to obey the Messiah? And he who sees the Son sees the Father, sees the essence, sees the soul. And of course, they're confusing it, changing my voice, changing my mannerisms with fumes and poisons and technology. Why is it said that Horus is trying to restore the divine order? So I'm going to give you some points to make it clear, perhaps the core disagreement between everyone else and myself. Number one, everyone else is manipulated by the state in a way that causes them to be immoral, right? They're just confusing about how I look, maybe changing my words a little bit, but my message is still coming out the same. And if they change my videos up, you know what I'm saying, okay, still have a long time of me telling you what you need to do, okay? And it's obvious you should be contacting me. Number one, they're manipulated by the state and they have no higher cause. Gangs, Masons, social clubs, frats, political groups, corporate groups, right? They're manipulated by the state and they have no higher cause. Being a Republican and a Democrat is a lower cause than self-preservation. And self-preservation is not a higher cause, okay? Being a libertarian is a lower cause. Being a Christian in a group that's allowed. Being a Christian who doesn't obey God through me, it's a lower cause. What are you doing? What deeds did you have? Faith without works is dead. You're reinforcing the global system by playing your part. You're like, I'm a Christian nationalist. That's not a higher cause. That's a despicable activity. You're just giving Satanists a public relations lift. Okay, so two, they need to admit with actions, listen carefully, that Greek life is inferior to morally precise life. And so is gang life, and rich oppressor life, and socially normative life, and so on and so forth. Think of it in terms of Martin Luther King, who has a day for a reason, versus American Pie type people and Ernest Old Christmas type people, sort of frat nerds. They are a dime a dozen frat nerds that should not rule over people who are greater than Martin Luther King. They shouldn't rule over the masses. They come from long lines of people, more often than not, who are complicit with the atrocities that occurred throughout history, who have nothing great in their entire family tree that they've ever accomplished. And it is inexcusable for people who are built with those inferior genes to insist on being in charge. And it has to be said this way to get it through your heads. Point three, they need to admit that I am greater than Martin Luther King by actions because it's right, it's what needs to be done. So they need to give me my rightful place immediately and admit that because I'm the top martial artist ever and logically the Messiah, as I've proven on this same channel, right? Poison Christ. They're fuming me, poison me, making it clear, putting my cards on the table. There are idiots who will try to use that to pretend that they shouldn't listen to what I have to say, okay? I'm still speaking the truth. I'm still saying what needs to be done, and society owes me big time. The parable of the tenants. The most important parable in the Bible is the parable of the tenants, okay? The heir is supposed to be respected and given his place and his share of the vineyard, okay? In my share, the wages of righteousness is the throne, okay? The throne is established in righteousness. Proverbs 16:12. Martin Luther King's righteousness does not surpass mine. I surpass him. I'm supposed to be given my rightful place immediately. Far more power than he was given, because then morality would be expressing itself more in society. They did not give morality fair representation, and only I give morality fair representation. Everyone else cheats me out of my right to lead. They even pretend that the type of person that I am isn't superior. Horus, the morally precise top martial artist, the quote-unquote God of War, the Avenger, the Skywalker, okay, is the archetype of Pharaoh, the King of Kings, okay? And Jesus wages war with righteousness and justice, okay? And there's a Martin Luther King Day. Therefore, righteousness and justice is greater than fraternity life. It's greater than social norms. It's greater than science. It's greater than everything else. And any love that's not derived from righteousness and justice is not love. Four. Okay, four, I already covered point number four. Now, so what are my goals? My goal is to overkill damning people to hell when they cheat me out of my right to lead. In the word cheat, we see see hate scrambled, see and he cat scrambled, and see heat, right? See, refer to the people, the heat, right? The African sun, right? The guy with a warm heart versus people who are cold-blooded. The cold-blooded cheat the warm-hearted, okay? My goal also includes show that it is evil to live and hopeless and people shouldn't breed. My goal should have been to take my rightful place and to make the world a better place. In the process of doing that, because of your actions as a planet, as a country, as a state, as a county, as a city, etc., okay, it forces me to those goals. My secondary goal is to try to pass, to get my war on poverty plan on the ballots and passed, okay? And it's a simple tax plan, a new tax, okay? $5 a month for every taxpayer. And people who can't afford that can opt out, and people who can afford more than that can pay more, okay? And maybe a progressive tax. If you make hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe pay $10, $20 a month, okay? And $200 a month for every millionaire. If you make tens of millions of dollars, perhaps you should pay $400 or $600 a month, and $10,000 a year for every billionaire. Okay, there's no reason that this shouldn't pass. And also a new cigarette tax, because I don't think people should be smoking anyway, so they should pay maybe 5 cents per pack of cigarettes or whatever, so we can generate more money. Okay, and use that money to end homelessness, build units for them. Okay, you know, very basic houses, the size of like a hotel room, you know, with no kitchen, you know, no fridge perhaps, okay, you know, just a shower, a sink, a bed, and a toilet, okay, and that's it, okay, and you know, we can build all, we can have enough money to build one of these units for every homeless person in America, okay, the first year of the plan, and then maintain it and create job programs with the money every year. And then new tax revenue as people start getting off of welfare and start paying taxes instead. And we can spend more on the plan, create more jobs, and expand law enforcement. Okay? As these people in society, what can they say? What can the gang members say? What can the homeless person, what can the person in the ghetto say? He prefers a bunch of gang members with no higher cause to those people, those same people instead, before they become gang members, joining law enforcement and police in their communities and being from those communities and showing them respect and so on and so forth. It's retarded, okay? And forming their own groupings of people that refuse to submit to the governing classes, social club and fraternity and secret society and whatever other groupings they have, corporate groups, social groups, political groups, network, so they can actually help people out instead of prioritizing the despicable and sick order of the state, which is the least worthy people who are ruling over everyone else, who put that first. There's no excuse for putting the rule of people who aren't even moral above human rights and morality and God.